Hello, second graders. This is Mr. Scott with our art lesson for this week. This would be our lesson for the week of 9/28, and this would actually be the class that we were doing on Friday 10/2 if we were in school. So this is the lesson for this coming Friday. This project will be due Tuesday, December 6th. So you'll want to make sure that you complete this and get it turned back in to Mrs. Patterson before next Tuesday. You guys are here on Monday, October 5th, and Tuesday, October 6th. You could turn it in either day, but I need it by October 6th. Okay. I also want to remind you that that's the last time that we can take grades for this grading period. So if you have not completed any of the previous videos and projects, you'll want to make sure that you get those done and get those turned in before next Tuesday, October 6th. In our last video, we made a collage. And we made a collage where it looked like one pumpkin was sitting in front of another. And we learned about something called overlapping. And overlapping is that trick that artists use to make it look like one thing is in front of another. It makes our drawings or our pictures look like they have depth, like something is behind something else. It's not just flat like paper. And we did that by cutting and gluing. That's how you make a collage. But today we're going to try to use overlapping when we draw. And we're going to draw two pumpkins, and we're going to try to make it look like one is sitting in front of the other. So this project and what we're going to do today, we're still learning about overlapping, but this time we're going to be using it in drawing instead of a collage, cutting and gluing. You should have a piece of 9x12 white paper that Mrs. Patterson has sent home for you. You're going to need that. You're also going to need your pencil and either markers or crayons. You can use either one. Either one is just fine. So when we did this collage, you'll remember we started with the big pumpkin that is in the back. Then we added the little pumpkin. But when we draw, we have to do the opposite. When we're drawing and we want to make one thing look like it's in front and one thing in back, we have to draw the thing in front first. So on our drawing, instead of starting with the big pumpkin, we're going to start with the little pumpkin. I'm going to take my pencil, and on my paper, I'm not going to push very hard. I'm going to start light in case I want to make changes. I'm going to very lightly draw a pumpkin shape. And we've talked now, there are no perfect circles in nature. There are no perfect ovals in nature. If we go to the pumpkin patch, we are not going to find a pumpkin that is a perfect circle or a perfect oval. So my pumpkin shape I've got here, it's not a perfect circle. That's good. It's not a perfect oval. That's good. So I'm going to go ahead and darken it up. I like it. And so I'm going to go ahead and darken it up. I want you to notice that I did not make this little pumpkin touching the bottom of the paper. I want you to move it up a little bit. I don't want it to be right on the very, very bottom. Move it up just a tiny bit. Okay? Did I make it fill up the whole paper? No, because I got to leave some room for the other big pumpkin to be back here. But fairly good size. It's not a little teeny, tiny pumpkin. It's a small pumpkin, not super tiny. Right, I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil, and I'm going to add the stem on. And I'm going to add those lines that help make it look round. Remember, we added 4 lines on the pumpkins in our collage to help make them look round. So I'm going to do that when I draw. Okay. So there's my little pumpkin. In drawing, I started with the little one. When we made our collage, I started with the big one. So we're doing the opposite. When you're drawing, you got to do the opposite. So I started by drawing the little pumpkin that's going to be in the front, close to the bottom, but not on the bottom edge. I'm going to take a black marker, or you could use your black crayon, and I'm just going to kind of trace around my pencil lines. Okay, and just traced over it. And here is my little pumpkin sitting down low on the paper. So now I got to make that big pumpkin, and I got to make it look like it's behind the little one. So I'm going to use that overlapping trick. I'm going to let the little pumpkin cover up part of the big pumpkin. Not a perfect circle, not a perfect oval. I'm going to start out light, so if I need to make changes, I can. See how lightly I started? And I kind of like it, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to darken it. I get to be lazy. I only have to draw part of a pumpkin. I don't even have to draw the whole thing, because the little pumpkin is hiding part of it. The little pumpkin is overlapping, hiding part of the big one to make it look like it's in front. I'm going to go ahead and add my stem. And I'm going to add those 4 curved lines to help make it look round. But look what happens. I have to think about where to stop them, because they disappear behind the little pumpkin. So here's our overlapping. Part of that pumpkin is hidden behind the big one. Again, I'm going to take my black marker or a black crayon, and I'm just going to trace over my pencil lines. And there we go. Little pumpkin sitting in front of a big pumpkin. But there's still something missing from my drawing. You remember in our collage, we wanted these to look like they were sitting on a table. So we glued down that blue piece of paper first, didn't we? And we said that created something called a baseline. This line right here, where the blue and the yellow meet, that's our baseline. That's what makes it look like these things are sitting on a tabletop and not floating in the air. On our collage, that was the very first thing we did. But in our drawing, making the baseline is going to be the last thing we draw in. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my black marker. You could do it with your pencil first if you want to. And I'm going to add a baseline. The only thing I have to remember is that the baseline has to be higher than the bottom of the big pumpkin. So there's the bottom of the big pumpkin. I'm going to put my baseline up about right here. So I'm going to start on the side of my paper. I'm going to draw. When I bump into the big pumpkin, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pretend I'm drawing and come out the other side. And just with that little bitty line, all of a sudden, it looks like our pumpkins are sitting on a tabletop. Okay? So after you've used overlapping, you've drawn the little pumpkin first, the pumpkin that's in front first, then the bigger pumpkin behind it, and then you've added your baseline. I want you to go back and color this pumpkin drawing. Like we've talked before, when I go to the art museum, I don't see big empty white areas on the paintings. The artists like to cover the entire page with color. So you might color these pumpkins with orange or red orange or yellow orange and do the stems green or brown. You could add some leaves if you wanted to on them. Don't add a face though. This is not a Halloween drawing. This is a fall drawing. But when you've got the pumpkins all colored, I need you to color this background a color. In our collage, it was yellow. So you could color it yellow on your drawing if you want to, or you could pick a different color. I also want you to color the tabletop below the baseline. On our collage, it was blue. If you want it to be blue in your drawing, you could color it blue. If you want to pick a different color, you can. Don't write any words on your drawing. I just want to see the 2 pumpkins, a background color, and a tabletop color. The whole page filled with color. I want you to do your neatest, most careful work when you're coloring this. And I would like for you to finish coloring it and turn it in by Tuesday, October 6th. I hope you have fun drawing these pumpkins. I hope you have fun coloring them. I hope you'll remember the word overlapping and the word baseline, and know that we can use overlapping to help create space in our drawings and make one thing look like that is in front of another. Okay? Have fun drawing and coloring, and I will see you soon. Bye.